Hey guys, welcome to the channel and another video. Today I'm going to be watching A Few Good Men by Rob Reiner, starring Tom Cruise, Jack Nicholson and Demi Moore. As you guys already know, I'm a fan of Reiner's work, as I've seen 4 of his films on the channel, including This is Spinal Tap, Stand By Me, The Princess Bride and Misery. All 4 were really good movies, so please check them out when you have the time. I'm also a big fan of all 3 stars of this film, Cruise, Nicholson and Moore, although I haven't seen as many films from Moore as I have with the other 2. Anyways, about A Few Good Men, I've seen it running on TV for almost 25 years now. But since it was a legal drama, it didn't really pique my interest at the time. I know now that it's considered an excellent film. All I know to expect from this movie is a military trial of some sort, and the line, "You can't handle the truth," which I've seen parodied in many different places over the years. Oh, and I've also been told to watch out for other actors who weren't very famous back then, but are now. But before we get into it, to help support the channel, I have a Patreon page for full-length reviews and reactions to this movie and over 140 movies, TV shows, early access, and weekly polls for what to watch next. You'll need your own copy to watch along. The link's in the description below, by the way. Please consider being a patron. Please subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon for instant notifications. Do check out my other videos. Like if you like this video, dislike it if you didn't. With all that being said, let's get started. A Few Good Men, Reiner, Cruise, Nicholson, Moore. Let's go. I wonder whether this film is completely drama or there's some action as well. It's a pretty good establishing shot. Reiner is a very good storyteller. Something is about to go down, and these soldiers operating at the dead of night. I think these soldiers are attacking one of their own. What a cowardly move, attacking somebody while they're sleeping. This looks like we're at some military academy. Although I haven't seen one of his most celebrated works, The Social Network. If that's worth watching, do let me know.
Captain, I'd like to request that I be the attorney in France.
Ah, judge's advocate. So it's a military tribunal, and she's a lawyer, a military lawyer.
Captain, I appreciate you seeing me on such short notice.
Would you like to sit down?
I'm fine, sir.
Have a seat.
In short, Captain, I'd like to suggest that I be the one that it be me who is assigned to represent them.
Commander, I'd like you to leave the room so we can talk about you behind your back.
At least he's being direct. I actually respect that.
She's been working a desk in internal affairs for, what, a little over a year now? Before that?
They don't want the news to spread.
All right, let's go. Let's get to
The right man for the job. And that would be Tom Cruise's character. Okay, he's a lawyer too. Xander Berkeley. He's a very decent actor. I've seen him mostly in 24.
Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. A Marine corporal named Dawson illegally fires a round from his weapon over the fence line and into Cuban territory.
the flight to Cuba. Was that 0600 in the morning?
That's what 0600 means, dude. Eating an apple while talking, that's pretty pretentious. It's a good way to show Caffey's character.
And how long have you been out of law school?
A little over a year.
Oh, he's brand new.
He successfully plea bargained 44 cases in 9 months. One more I get a set of
44
state
cases, 9 months. But plea bargains, no trials. That's something to note, I think.
I'll get them to drop the conspiracy and conduct unbecoming. 12 years.
You haven't talked to a witness or looked at a piece of paper.
He's already coming to a conclusion.
I'm willing to provide you with information about
illegal fence line shooting that occurred the night of August the 2nd.
Jack Nicholson's voice.
It's PFC William T. Santiago.
Private Santiago's a member of 2nd Platoon Bravo.
And Kiefer Sutherland.
Wait, I've got a better idea. Let's transfer the whole squad. John, you're in charge. Port. And I'm going to blame you. then I'm going to kill you.
Yes, sir.
Nicholson has such a commanding on-screen presence. He can be so intimidating with a smile on his face. That's why he played the Joker and Jack in The Shining. Okay, we'll get to see how this decision will affect the rest of the story here. Reiner is doing a very good job in introducing his characters one by one.
All the paperwork's in order.
Galloway, Caffey.
I was
He
just
wants a
wondering
plea
why two guys
bargain
have
where
been
she
locked
wants
up
to go to
since this morning
trial.
while the lawyer-
That's what I think.
And I wouldn't be doing my job if I allowed Dawson and Downey to spend any more time in prison than absolutely necessary because their attorney had predetermined the path of least resistance.
Great line delivery here by Demi Moore.
Sit down. Santiago's letter to the NIS said you fired illegally. He's saying that the...
That's motive.
To train him, sir.
Train him to do what?
Train him to think of his unit before himself. To respect the code.
I don't know about this entire situation. I don't know who's guilty, who's innocent. I don't know whether they actually had the intent to kill.
You got authorization from Aunt Jenny?
I gave her a call like you asked. Very nice woman. We spoke for about an hour.
Somehow the rag was poisoned and he died. So I think they're being set up. And I think Caffey's realizing it.
Just not that crazy about boats, that's all.
Jesus
Dude, that's Noah Weil. I did not even recognize him. Holy crap. He looks young. Wow. What a beautiful scene. I think it's a painting in the background. Composited against the water, but it looked fairly realistic.
I had the pleasure of meeting your father once. I was a teenager. He spoke at my high school.
Lionel Caffey?
Oh, he comes from a military family. Okay, they're going to try and interview the unit to find out more about the situation. Kiefer Sutherland looks like a badass, man. Especially with the buzz cut. We're finally getting hints of the score, which is very inquisitive, mixed with very mellow. Yeah, that doesn't look like a stab wound. I think that was the blood from the mouth, from the poison.
Have I done something to offend you?
No, I like all you Navy boys. Every time we gotta go someplace to fight, you fellas always give us a ride.
Is that the sentiment
believe in
the
God.
Marines hold against the Navy men?
You see, Danny, I can deal with the bullets and the bombs and the blood. I don't want money, and I don't want medals.
Yeah, I think he's a dude who likes power and he likes to exercise that power. Oh man, things got really interesting. What a great scene. I love how Cruise and Nicholson played off each other and the power dynamics between them. I don't know what the rules of baseball are. I was wondering the difference between baseball and softball.
I'm Loudon Downey's attorney. Aunt Jenny. She said she feels like she's known me for years. She might feel more comfortable if I were directly involved with the case. She had Loudon sign the papers about an hour ago.
Nice.
You mind telling me why the hell you never mentioned this before?
You didn't ask us, sir.
Wow, Caffey, you're the greatest lawyer in the world. Ooh, how can we ever thank you?
I really like Cruise's performance here. He's so animated.
Hey, man.
It's gonna be okay.
Downey is the quiet one, I think. Reiner is doing a great job with the storytelling, as usual.
You don't like me very much, do you? Forget it, don't answer.
Do you think we were right?
Doesn't matter.
Do you think we were right?
I think you'd lose.
What a lawyer thing.
What happened to saluting an officer when he leaves the room?
No respect.
Why are you so afraid to be a lawyer? Were Daddy's expectations really that high?
Oh, please, spare me this psychobabble, Father.
Even if he believes them, he doesn't have a solid enough case to win a trial. This scene is very important. other filmmakers wouldn't have put this particular scene, but it goes to show a lot of character development and self-reflection on the part of Cruz's character. Okay, the trial is starting. This is what we've all been waiting for. Or this is not a trial, this is the hearing for the trial. My bad, my bad.
So this is what a courtroom looks like.
He hasn't lost his sense of humor.
I've got medical reports and Chinese food. I say we eat first.
They drew the court members this afternoon. 7 men, 2 women,
They're
5
preparing
Navy,
the
4
witnesses.
Marines, all officers with line experience. Neither of the women have children, so that's a bad break. There's nothing we can do. Respect from me over the last 3 weeks will... Of course, I'm happy about that. But we don't have to make a whole...
The trial is finally starting.
The government will also demonstrate that the accused soaked the rag in poison, Santiago's room with motive and intent to kill.
That is not true, as far as we know.
Harold Dawson and Loudon Downey are sitting before you today because they did their job.
Those are some pretty short opening statements. But at least they were on point. Okay, that was pretty useless. This witness's credibility is gone.
Sir, he said Santiago wasn't to be touched.
That much is true.
Your witness.
But not the meeting afterwards.
The government will stipulate.
Then we will adjourn for the day. You can call your next witness tomorrow morning.
Again, great choice by Reiner to have these moments where they're discussing the case
Private
instead
Santiago
of just
is admitted to...
jumping to the next day.
Dr. Stone, did Willie Santiago die of poisoning?
Absolutely.
So he's saying the poison is undetectable, but it's still poison because of the lactic
some sort of condition,
acid.
which might also speed up. Is it possible to have a serious coronary condition where the initial warning signals were so mild as to escape a physician during a routine medical exam?
Possibly.
Backing him up to a corner.
Shortness of breath?
Yes.
Fatigue?
Of course.
That's great news for the defense because Santiago collapsed due to fatigue earlier. That was shown.
The objection of the defense has been heard and overruled.
Move to reconsider.
Your objection is noted.
But the witness has a conflict of interest. Are military trials
so much?
this
They beat up on a
formal?
weakling. That's all they did. All right, the rest of this is just smoke.
Anybody who's seen a military trial in real life, please let me know. Yeah, at least they get the night off.
Why do you like them so much?
It's not about whether she likes them, it's about doing the right thing. That means their positions are solidified and they're living by their code. That's a console I'm pretty familiar with, the Nintendo.
I'm sorry to bother you. I should have called first.
No, I was,
Do you like seafood? I know a good seafood place.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think this is a date either. I think she has an agenda. Agenda is a strong word. I think she has her reasons.
Jeffrey, did you ever want to give Santiago a code red?
Yes, sir.
Why didn't you?
Because Dawson would kick my butt, sir.
So Dawson was protecting Santiago, at least to some extent. That's making Dawson look like a good person.
How did you know where the mess hall was if it's not in this book?
Just followed the crowd at chow time, sir.
No more questions.
Couple bombs you made.
That was a very... Yeah, Aaron Sorkin really writes very interesting characters and how they interact with each other. And Rob Reiner is doing a fairly good job with the directing so far. But I wonder where Jack Nicholson's Jessup comes into the story again.
He was never going to be transferred off that base.
They did ask for a transfer order earlier.
Nice work today. Redirect on Barnes.
They have a healthy respect for each other. I like that.
Lieutenant Kendrick, in your opinion, was Private Santiago a good Marine?
I'd say he was about average.
Lieutenant, you signed 3 proficiency and conduct reports on Santiago. On all 3 reports, you indicated a rating of below average.
Yes, Private Santiago was below average. I did not see the need to trample on him.
Do you recall why Dawson was given such a poor grade on this report?
I'm sure I don't. I have many men in my charge, Lieutenant. I write many reports.
You prefer to be handled within the unit.
He's indirectly talking about a code red, right?
Lieutenant, do you know what a code red is?
Oh, yes.
Yes, I do.
Have you ever ordered a code red? Sure, it was lovely for Private Bell. But you did order the barracks restriction, didn't you? You did order the denial of food. Wouldn't this form of discipline be considered a code red?
No.
Wait, why?
Lieutenant Kendrick, was Dawson given a rating of below average on this last report because you learned he'd been sneaking food to Private Bell?
Object!
Dawson brought a hungry guy some food.
Ah.
What crime did he commit? If you had ordered Dawson to give Santiago a code red...
I specifically ordered those men...
Is it reasonable to think he would have disobeyed you again?
Jessup.
What are you telling me? He fixed the logbook?
Oh, that is a huge crime, right?
Why did you give him a code red?
I was ordered to give him a code red by the platoon commander of Rifle Security Company Windward, Lieutenant Jonathan James Kendrick.
Which Kendrick denied earlier.
You think they'll let us go back to our platoon soon, man?
Oh, poor kid.
Absolutely.
All he wants to do is serve his country, man.
Your son is dead for only one reason. I wasn't strong enough to stop it.
Dude, Markinson is going to kill himself.
Of an order that Lieutenant Kendrick gave you in your barracks room at 1620, am I right?
Yes, sir.
She just said that you didn't make it back to the Windward Barracks until 1645.
Oh, no.
Yes, Captain. I was given an order by my squad leader, Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson, United States Marine Corps, and I followed it.
Excellent use of the thunderstorm noise. Holy crap. So Dawson got the order and Downey...
Maybe if we work at it, we could get Dawson charged with the Kennedy assassination.
Oh no, he's drunk.
Look, we'll go to Randolph in the morning and we'll make a motion for a continuance 24 hours.
Why would we want to do that?
To subpoena Colonel Jessup.
Oh, they want to subpoena Jessup? That is so dangerous.
He told Kendrick to order the code red.
He did? That's great.
That's implied, but there's no proof.
Cleaning that.
But what do they do now? That's a good change in music.
Joanne! Joe!
He's changing his mind. He's going to have Jessup on the stand.
Joe, I apologize. I was angry. I'm sorry about what I said. I'm gonna put Jessup on the stand.
Oh my goodness.
Stay here. I'm going to the office for a while.
What did he realize? Something about uniforms.
When you're out there today, if you feel like it's not going to happen, you feel like he's not going to say it, don't go for it. You could get in trouble. I'm special counsel for internal affairs, and I'm telling you, you could get...
Oh,
Defense
man.
calls Colonel Nathan Jessup.
There he is.
Colonel, when you learned of Santiago's letter to the NIS, you had a meeting with your two senior officers. Did you give an order to Colonel Markinson as well?
I ordered Markinson to have Santiago transferred off the base immediately. I felt his life might be in danger once word of the letter got out.
Grave danger?
Is there another kind?
Oh man, he's so intimidating.
Lieutenant Caffey, I have to ask you to state your question.
I'm wondering why Santiago wasn't packed.
Oh, he wasn't. Everything was in the closet. We saw that for a minute.
This is a record of all telephone calls made from your base in the past 24 hours. After being subpoenaed to Washington, you made 3 calls.
Great writing by Aaron Sorkin here.
Do you recognize those numbers, sir? That Santiago wrote in 9 months, requesting, in fact begging for a transfer. And according to you, he was getting on a plane in 6 hours. Yet everything he owned was hanging neatly in his closet and folded neatly in his...
Holy crap. What a good point.
These two Marines are on trial for their lives. Please tell me that their lawyer hasn't pinned their hopes to a phone bill. Do you have any other questions for me, Counselor?
What a retort.
Colonel.
What's that?
I'd appreciate if he would address me as Colonel or Sir. I believe I've earned it. What do you want to discuss now?
The trial is turning into a crap show.
Colonel, the 6 a.m. flight was the first one off the base? Your Honor, these are the Tower Chief's logs for both Guantanamo Bay and Andrews Air Force Base.
I don't understand. You're admitting evidence of a flight that never existed.
Well, we believe it did, sir. A moment ago, you said that you ordered Lieutenant Kendrick to tell his men that Santiago wasn't to be... If you gave an order that Santiago wasn't to be touched, and your orders are always followed, then why would Santiago be in danger?
Oh no. He just caught him either in a lie.
If Lieutenant Kendrick gave an order that Santiago wasn't to be touched. Colonel Jessup, did you order the Code Red?
You don't have to answer that question.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
Oh, there it is.
Either way, I don't give a damn what you think you are entitled to.
He's got exactly where he
Did the job.
wants it.
Did you order the Code Red?
You're goddamn right I did!
Oh, he admitted it.
You're not going anywhere, Colonel. MPs, guard the Colonel.
Yes, sir.
This is Spence. I'm gonna rip the eyes out of your head and piss in your dead skull! You fucked with the wrong Marine!
I'm a lawyer and an officer in the United States Navy. And you're under arrest, you son of a bitch.
Oof. That must feel so satisfying.
On the charge of murder, the members find the accused not guilty. On the charge of conduct unbecoming a United States Marine, the members find the accused guilty as charged.
Guilty. Unbecoming?
Colonel Jessup said he ordered the Code Red. What did we do wrong?
It's not that simple.
What did we do wrong? We did nothing wrong.
Yeah, we did. We were supposed to fight for people who couldn't fight for themselves.
Ah.
10 hut!
There's an officer on deck.
He gets his respect at the end. Oh, wow. Okay, I took some time to collect my thoughts. First off, that was a really good legal film. Aaron Sorkin wrote a very tight and well-written script, which was excellently directed in the hands of Rob Reiner. I only have one single criticism of the film, which was the fact that the story was spoon-fed to the audience. We didn't have anything to figure out on our own at all. I felt like leaving some things ambiguous would have helped promote discussions about the film, but apart from that, everything else was just great. From the directing to the performances, the editing, music, and cinematography, they were all stellar. So let's start with the directing by Rob Reiner and the script by Aaron Sorkin. This review is going to be on the shorter end of the scale, as I don't have much to say about the story itself. I mean, it was written very well and executed very well too, but there isn't too much to discuss really, I think. It was pretty straightforward. It did have surprises and quite a few twists and turns here and there, but nothing out of the ordinary till the last scene where Jessup is confronted by Kathy. Rob Reiner is a great storyteller who's excellent at showing character development, and this film was no different. He took Sorkin's characters and spent quite a while in the first act introducing them and their nuances to the audience. Kathy was shown to have come from a military background. He was a very good lawyer, but on the other hand, he was initially kind of a goofball too, being obsessed with softball. Again, I don't know the difference between softball and baseball. They look similar to me with the bat. Um, anyways, Galloway was shown to be quite the opposite. She was very serious from the get-go, and I felt like she was shown to be very competent at her job despite the blatant sexism she had to deal with. I also like the fact that they didn't go for a romantic subplot. Great choice there. That would have really messed up the film's narrative. On the other side of the coin, we are also introduced to Downey and Dawson, the defendants accused of murdering Santiago. Jessup, as the head of the Gitmo forces, and we were also introduced to Kendrick as his right-hand man. Also Markinson as well. The story from there was pretty easy to follow, I think, as we see the events unfold on screen. Sorkin did a very good job with the poison theory that was presented early in the film and how that was just a misdirection in the script. He led us to believe that Santiago may have been poisoned, but he also left clues that he suffered from a cardiac condition. Great writing. The decision to have Markinson kill himself was also a very good narrative choice, as it really left no option for the defense except to call Jessup to the stand at the end. The final confrontation between Jessup and Caffey, that was just fantastic. That was the best scene of the entire film. And the performances by Nicholson and Cruise in that scene, they were probably award-worthy. They really took Sorkin's script to the next level. At the end, I felt bad for the defendants. Yes, they did do something wrong, but they had no choice in the matter, to be honest. They were dishonorably discharged, and I feel like that must have been extremely difficult to accept for the two men, as they were wondering what would become of them once they left the Marines earlier in the film. Sadly, that's exactly what came to pass, and I don't think they have a very bright future, sadly. At least Caffey says to Dawson that they don't have to have a badge to have honor. I think that sentiment went a long way from a moral standpoint, if that makes any sense. Let's talk about the performances, starting with Tom Cruise as Caffey. He was very good in his role. I think the scenes where he had to play off somebody, he did very well, especially with Moore and Nicholson, or even Kevin Bacon's character. But his solo scenes were good, not amazing. His physical acting was on point, especially with the animated movements, and so was most of his line delivery. Demi Moore as Galloway was considerably better than Cruise in this film, in my opinion. She played her character with authority and integrity. Her character took her job very seriously, and I think she was the moral center of the entire film. It was her who kept pushing and motivating Caffey, even after losing Markinson to suicide and Downey after he lost his credibility. Because I don't think he got the order directly from Kendrick. He heard it from Dawson. Moore was just great. The real highlight, the real heavyweight of the performances here was easily Jack Nicholson's Jessup. He had a small but significant role in the film, and honestly he stole every single scene he was in. He had a looming, commanding presence throughout the runtime, and even though his character didn't show up in the entire second act, he was always there in the background. His performance was that powerful. I don't think we have to talk about the final scene of the film where he says the famous line, "You can't handle the truth." I have context for that scene now, and it makes complete sense, especially when you think about it and see it from his perspective, from Jessup's perspective. From his standpoint, he did nothing wrong, as he thought self-discipline within the unit was the right move. He was in charge of so many different men, and he was in the front lines of an offensive, I think. Anyways, he's a hard man. What he objectively did wrong was try and cover up the Code Red Order for and for manipulating the flight records and for having his subordinates take the blame for him. That was wrong. My question to you guys is, what do you think he will be charged with after everything is said and done? It can't be murder directly. Maybe conspiracy to commit murder and hampering with evidence? Has there ever been a case like this before? Is there precedent for this? If so, how was it handled in real life, especially considering Jessup was a very high-ranking official? Do let me know in the comments. As for the cinematography, editing, and music, they were all very good. I don't really have any complaints in these three departments. Although I felt like the score was a little underutilized, the music was great. I felt like it could have been used a little more to manipulate the audience's emotions. Like I mentioned before, I had no troubles with the editing of the film because it flowed very smoothly, but it leads me to my only criticism of the film, which was the story was too straightforward. It didn't make us figure things out ourselves. Don't get me wrong, this did not make the film any less entertaining to watch. Sorkin has since written better films, and I think he has evolved as a writer. And I would even go as far as to say he's probably one of the best writers or screenplay writers working in Hollywood right now. Overall, A Few Good Men was a fantastic legal drama that I wish I had watched earlier. Rob Reiner did a wonderful job with his direction, and Aaron Sorkin's script really brought out some of the best performances I've seen in a while from Cruise, Moore, and especially Nicholson. The story was a little predictable by the end, but it also had quite a few twists and turns to keep the audience on the edge of their seats the entire runtime. I would highly recommend this film for anyone and everyone. Great movie. Anyways, thank you for watching. I have a Patreon page. Consider being a patron. Subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon for instant notifications. Do check out my other videos. Like if you like this video. Dislike it if you didn't. I will see you in the next one. Bye.